What's going on, guys? I'm Nathan and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I do fishing technique videos, DIY projects, kayak mods, and gear and bait reviews. So if you're into that kind of thing, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment down below of a video that you'd like me to make. Today's video, we're going to complete our series on the Texas rig, and I'm going to give you guys a hack that is guaranteed to catch you more fish. Stick around. Okay guys, so in the first video, Texas Rig 101, episode 1, I talked about EWG hooks, and that's what we're going to be tying up today. Okay, so I've got an EWG hook, I got a lead bullet weight, I got some string, and I got a soft plastic lure on here that we're going to rig up. Okay, so when you're rigging this up, it's going to be on a fishing rod. Today I just have a sectional line, so just use your imaginations. But you're going to put your bullet weight on your line. Okay. All right, once that's on there, I'm gonna go take it off so it don't hit the ground. Once that's on there, you're gonna tie on, okay? All right, so you're gonna take your hook and you're gonna put your fishing line through the eye of the hook towards the opening of the hook, okay? Just like that. All right, bring your tag in around, and the knot we're gonna use, or the knot that I use for Texas rig, is called an improved clinch knot, or a blood knot. So you're gonna wrap the string around the main line, wrap the tag in around the main line 5 times at a minimum. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now that you've done that, you'll notice you have an opening down there at the bottom, okay, near the eye of the hook. You're gonna take that tag in and you're gonna put it back through that. You're gonna put it back through that opening. Okay, now once you've done that, you will have formed a circle. Right here, you're gonna take the tag in and put through that circle. Pull it tight just a little bit. All right, now you're gonna wet the line. And the reason is, because if you don't wet the line, it has a tendency to have abrasions and all sorts of stuff in this line that's about to cinch down, okay? And that could cause your knot to break more often than not. All right, so we're gonna lubricate. Now you can either dip this in the water or you can just lick it or spit on it, and I just lick it, just real quick. All right, now we're gonna cinch it down, just like that. All right, you're gonna cut that tag end off pretty short, just like that. See if I can. Okay, so you'll have your bullet weight. Then you got your hook. Now this is bullet weight, right? That'd be weighted, okay? Without a bullet weight, it would be weightless, obviously. All right, so we're gonna use the same lure that we used. You spin it around, pull it through, line the hook up, put your thumb there, bring the hook directly through the bait, and Texpose. Boom. All right, we are rigged up. Okay, now let's talk about some places and some instances we can fish this. Okay, the Texas rig you can fish literally in any weather conditions, any time of year, any water depth. It's a bait that you can really fish all 3 levels of the water column, and we'll go over that in another video. It's a rig that you can fish with any bait. You know, you can Texas rig anything. With other rigs, you still Texas rig the bait onto the hook. So this is how versatile it is. All right, so let's talk about where I throw it. Okay, so I throw it at structure, whether that be a tree sticking out of the water, or a stump, or a piling, or a dock, or a laydown, or a rock pile I can see in the water, right? A place where I know where it drops off. I typically don't use electronics because I prefer to use my knowledge to catch the fish. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys to do, not to rely on electronics. I firmly believe in kind of old school fishing, getting a map, or finding a map online and just reading it and then plotting where you want to fish and then hitting those spots. I think that makes us better fishermen overall, and I just really I want to strive to better the sport that way. But anyways, so you can flip and pitch a Texas rig, you can punch, you can do all sorts of stuff. You can cast, you can, oh man, it's just endless. But let's talk about, I know I mentioned pegging You peg your weight. I don't peg weights. I never have. Might be something I get into a little later. Who knows? So let's talk about it. All right, so what pegging is, it's where you marry your lure and bait up, your lure and weight up to where they don't move. Because typically when you throw a Texas rig in the water, the weight's gonna sink faster than the bait, right? So then the weight's gonna hit the bottom, and then the bait's gonna catch up, and then when you drag it or pop it or whatever you do, it's gonna catch up to the bait. And depending on how high you pull it up in the water, then the weight will drop again, right? Pegging it keeps them married. Now that has a couple positives or pros, if you will. You're not gonna get hung up as much because the weight's not falling over a branch and then pulling the bait up to the branch or anything like that. But it's really all what you guys want to do. But you go to Academy and look for bobber stops. That's what they use. You run the line through, it sits on the line, you can sit it down to your weight, you're good to go. That's just one version. They have a couple different ones. So let's talk about water column for a little bit. So the first part of the water column is shallow. Okay, I like to call it from 0 to 6. 0 to 6 feet deep, I consider the first part of the water column. That's typically where I fish weightless Texas rig. You can get a bait with a little salt in it, a fluke or something like that. It'll fall nice and slow. A brush hog, you can fish weightless. Any plastic with a little weight to it, you can fish weightless. So that's the first part of the water column. That's typically where I fish weightless, is 0 to 6 feet. If I'm fishing 6 to say 20 feet, that's the second part of the water column to me. You could even go up to 15, 6 to 15. That's typically where I throw a weight on because I'm trying to fish the bottom. I'm dragging along the bottom, whatever. And same thing with the third water column, which is 15 and below, or 20 and below. Couple different things. If you're fishing the third water column, the bottom, you want a little heavier weight so that the bait will get down to the bottom faster, if that makes sense. Because typically when you cast and your bait starts to fall, instead of falling direct, like straight down, it kind of pendulums down to the bottom, right? And then rests, and then you don't have that much, you pass your strike zone. All right, guys, so that's really all I got. Let me go ahead and give you guys a hack. This is something that I do when I'm fishing murky water, or just to give my Texas rig a little extra. And that is now, when you fish Carolina rig, I'll do a video series on that one as well. But when you fish the Carolina rig, you use beads and all sorts of stuff. I don't know why people have gotten away from fishing this rig like this, the Texas rig that is, but when it was first came out, was invented, the concept was thought of, whatever you want to say, it was intended to be fished with a bead. All right, you take a plastic or glass bead, you put it on there, and what that does is it gives your bait a little extra noise. Listen, see, like clicking. Like clicking is key, especially if you're imitating like a crawfish or crawdad or whatever you want to call them, right? They click when they're in the water. So guys, that's really all I have. You guys are awesome. I just want to say thanks for all the support. I think I'm up to like 32 subscribers, which is outstanding. I didn't really expect to get, that many subscribers. I mean, that's not a lot, but to me, that's a lot. So thanks, guys. As I always say, spread the word, trying to build a community. Let's make each other better, and you guys have a great day.